we're at Magic Mountain, and they've decided to open 3 of the gates and leave this one closed for no reason. And they weren't open at the same time, so people were like cutting each other off to get to the open ones. I think they're finally opening this one now. Rule of thumb, don't open a lane until you can have all of them ready to go at the same time. There we go. Hey guys, it's Colin from Hollywood Studios here. As I'm sure you can already tell, we are back at Magic Mountain for day 2.
Redemption Day.
We're here for Redemption Day. You can probably tell I don't sound as excited as I did yesterday morning. That's because of yesterday. If you didn't see yesterday's vlog, go check it out. We're hoping today Magic Mountain can redeem itself. The only coaster that's open that we didn't get to ride yesterday was X2, so that is priority number 1 of the day. Then we're gonna try to get some re-rides on rides like Twisted Colossus, Tatsu, etc. So we'll see you guys when we get up by the park. They've let us in nice and early once again. It's 9:53, so at least they're nice and consistent there. I do like coming in early like this. Marching our way up to X2 for attempt number 2. So we just got off of our first ever ride on X2. All of us rode back row. Bob's over there taking pictures. Dad, how was X2?
Jesus Christ. That was probably one of the most insane rides I've ever been on. Just absolutely nuts.
Tom?
That was the most terrified I've ever felt on a coaster, but I'd say it was well worth the aggravation. That was incredible.
Yeah, and the flames work too, which is a huge rarity on this ride from what I understand. That ride was insane. The drop was crazy. Just everything about it was absolutely insane. And as you can probably tell, we're going in line for round 2 because this is probably the only time we'll be able to ride it back to back without waiting in a ridiculous line because there's only one train running. This is what happens when you take your phone out on X2. They don't mess around here. There he goes. We just got off of ride number 2 on X2, and just to put it into perspective, it took another hour in line from where we were, and that wasn't very far back in line. So the one train ops are definitely not helping this ride, but the ride itself is absolutely spectacular. I mean, definitely one of the most intense coasters out there. It felt even better on the second ride, and the fire was still working, so huge 2 thumbs up for me. Dad?
Oh yeah, 2 thumbs up, no question about it. I mean, I can't even describe how crazy this is, because I went in here blind. I've seen it, I have an idea, but I didn't watch any POVs or anything, so it really surprised me.
Tom?
Yeah, it was definitely worth the hassle and the wait for sure. Probably the most intense coaster I've been on. I was breathless the whole time, and it's uncomparable to anything else I've ever done.
Definitely. And this time around, I decided to ride the outside seat instead of the inside seat. Inside seat is typically considered the smoother of the two seats, and honestly, I didn't feel too big of a difference. The outside seat definitely jerked you around a little more, but I didn't really feel much of a difference. So if you're riding with two people, it doesn't really matter inside or outside. It's still very, very good.
So when you're sitting in the back row and the fire effect goes off, since you're going through it last, you really feel the heat
Yes.
from it, which is crazy.
I'm also feeling this gigantic line. This is a full queue. If it took an hour from where we are, these people are going to be here for 3 hours, maybe.
We were at the split when it took an hour, so yeah, I do not envy those guys over there.
Yeah, if you're coming to Magic Mountain, run to X2 first thing. It needs to be the first ride you do, because if you don't do it first, you're going to be waiting a while. Lines are already absolutely insane. Tatsu's is like that because it's running one train. Roaring Rapids is like that because it's just hot out, and I don't blame these people. Now we're gonna probably go for another ride on Superman because it seems like there's nobody at the top of the mountain, so this shouldn't have too long of a wait, if any. Jetstream wasn't supposed to be open today, but it is, which is pretty nice. We just got off of Jetstream. That was really fun. I haven't ridden a log flume like that. It's a hydro flume. Apparently there used to be one at Great Adventure. I was just too little to have ridden it. It was pretty good. How was it, Tom?
The last time I rode one of these was the year Colin was born, and I gotta say, it lives up to everything I remembered about it. It was really fun, especially that finale.
It was a lot of fun, brings back a lot of memories. It was really cool to get on one of these after so long. Hope it stays around for a while.
Over here in the back of the underground is Apocalypse, which is closed, unfortunately. Which is a shame, because it looks like a really, really good GCI. Only true wooden coaster left in the park, but it is closed. Over here, they have the gaming house for Magic Mountain, so we're going to go check that out and see how it compares to Discovery Kingdom and Great Adventure.
You guys checking it out?
Gaming house is pretty cool here. You do have to reserve on the app in order to play, but what's nice about this one is that the PCs were actually on. First time I've seen the PCs on at any of the Six Flags Parks gaming houses that I've been to. So it's really cool they have them there. Not really many people playing them, so same situation as Great Adventure, where I'm curious as to how successful they've been, but I guess we'll see as time goes on. Here is Magic Mountain's Justice League. Supposedly the best one of the bunch, has a pre-show and everything, but it's closed. And here is Riddlers Revenge, which is their ginormous stand-up coaster, which is also unfortunately closed. These two are probably the hardest hitting closures for me. Just really anticipating these rides, but unfortunately not today. right here alongside Wonder Woman. This looks like a pretty obvious expansion plot to me. Lots of room for maybe a small coaster, like a Skyline, you know, spaghetti bowl or spaghetti bowl, family coaster, or even just a flat ride. There's plenty of room next to Wonder Woman. You can even see it when you're on the ride too, so maybe they'll make a new investment over there. Just got off another back row ride on Twisted Colossus, which was spectacular. And I do want to give a shout out to the crew, specifically the operator at the booth. He is really pushing to get a duel. We came close to a duel. The other train was on the green lift hill when we got on the blue lift hill. Just the interval was a little too long, but still an amazing ride regardless of dueling or not.
Yeah, it's a top tier RMC right there, and I really appreciate the hustle of the crews to try and get us that duel, maybe by the end of the day.
Oh, it was just great, especially if they can get us to duel later in the day. But it's a great ride.
Time for another ride on Full Throttle. Just got off another back row ride on Full Throttle, which is such a fun ride. Really, really great. And one thing I do want to give a huge shout out to from the ops is the fact that they are now making sure all the people from one train only use one set of bins. And then they close those bins and guard them to make sure no one's stuff can get stolen. Yesterday, we witnessed someone who had something stolen out of the bins, who had a pretty rough day, judging off the fact that his stuff was stolen. And it looks like they've corrected that, which is really nice. How was it?
It was great, so shout out to that attendant and shout out to the main operator too for really engaging the guests. The ride itself, fantastic. Second ride in the back row, love it.
It's a great ride. I will say the ops today are night and day from what they were yesterday. Like Tom had said, there was a lot of great guest engagement, and also the issue with the bins, because that one customer was just totally distraught because it seemed like something of great value to him was taken or lost in those bins. So kudos to the operation team for that.
Definitely. Time for another ride on Viper.
Came up here somewhere. Oh, because that park didn't open yet, right? But just now about.
Yeah. Just got off Viper in the front row, and that was really intense. Probably a little better than the back just because you got out a little more in the loops. It was really good. Tom?
I'm going to implore the use of Ace's catchphrase, ass out your seat airtime, because it actually did happen between the two loops.
Yeah, right after going into the mid-course.
I almost tumbled, and it was way more intense than I expected in the front row.
I take the back over the front. I know the front's a little more intense, but the back, I think, is kind of where I'd rather be on this.
More bearable?
Yeah, a little more bearable for my old ass bones.
It's definitely not the smoothest ride out there, but having ridden tons of these aero loopers, you figure out ways to mitigate it and can have a good amount of time, a good time on it. So I think now we're gonna try to get on,
I don't know.
Whatever's next.
Tatsu. What would I rate Tatsu? Oh yeah. The overall, I'll go here today. Definitely a 10. Overall, well, I mean, that goes without saying. They're pretty good today. That would be 5.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
But yeah, Tatsu in the back row, again, was absolutely amazing. One thing that's really unfortunate about this park, this is the line to get a refill at Soda Springs. They need more food and drink places at this park. Coasters are great, but they could definitely use some more food and beverage facility additions. Next, we're gonna take a ride on their Roaring Rapids. So we just got off of Roaring Rapids here at Magic Mountain, and it's very, very similar to Congo Rapids at Great Adventure. I mean, really similar, but much better. The rapids are far more intense, probably the most violent rapids ride I've ever ridden. That was really, really good, honestly. Such a surprise. Tom?
So violent. I thought I was going to get away okay until I just took a massive splash on my
Yeah, you
left
got
side.
drenched.
It wound up just getting me everywhere. This is a great ride.
Dad?
Yeah, it was really good. It was really intense for a rapids ride. Reminds me of the days when Great Adventure had everything working on theirs.
Yeah, no, that was definitely fun. Very good rapids ride. Not really any like water effects or waterfalls that you go under or anything, but the rapids more than did the job of getting you wet. Just got off West Coast Racers, this time in the front row. It's a really, really fun ride. Every element on it has great interactivity with the other train. I love that it always duels. And even though the comfort collars really do suck, I found if you keep your head forward throughout most of the ride, you wind up mitigating that comfort collar issue of banging your head and your ears into it. So it's a really, really fun ride, and hopefully Great Adventure gets something like it. Tom?
Yeah, I think I prefer the back row on this, but the interaction between the trains is unbeatable. It's always nice to get a guaranteed duel.
It's really cool, especially with the theming, and just the fact that it like always duels is just awesome.
We've made it out of the oven. Now we're in the station. Went down while we were in line, but just got off of Batman in the back row. This is definitely the best Batman clone, but probably the coaster in the park with the worst operations. It took 3 minutes. How long exactly, Tom?
3 minutes and 38 seconds to dispatch a train, and then another minute 28 when we were at the ending brakes to get back into the station.
That is really bad, especially when you have an hour-long line sitting there.
It's a combination of the guests, and there was one operator that was just like dragging her feet, didn't want to be there.
A big chunk of the operating crew was sitting by the panel just looking like they were joking around, having conversations, so that doesn't help your line.
Oh, then they're
No.
outside too.
Yeah, rough line, rough wait, and we use skip the lines, but really good ride. After enjoying another cup of ice cream, that is going to end out our day. Day 2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Much improved from yesterday. I'm not sure what changed, but we had a much better time. Employees were much nicer. The park was a lot better to deal with. Rides were great. X2 actually opened relatively on time. It was a much better day, much better experience, Dad.
So the difference between yesterday and today is literally night and day. Yesterday we got a lot of rides, but just like the whole atmosphere yesterday was kind of crappy. I mean, it just was what it was. But today, I really don't know what happened, but it's just like someone turned on a switch and everything seemed that much better. We got on a lot of rides today and everything was running. I think there was one breakdown on one ride we went on today, if I'm not mistaken. And it was really good. A lot of good rides here, great selection of rides, and very happy with today.
Yeah, I am really happy that everything turned around. The difference between yesterday and today made us able to appreciate the park objectively, and we got on a ton of great rides. We were able to focus on the positives today because the operations were just that much better. X2 was incredible. Shout out to the main ride ops at Full Throttle and at Twisted Colossus for really engaging the crowds. It added to the experience, and overall, this was a lot more like the Magic Mountain that I heard about.
Exactly, definitely a much improved day. So I really can't give any final tips or anything along those lines for Magic Mountain. We had a very weird experience between yesterday and today. With that being said, that does conclude today's vlog from Six Flags Magic Mountain. Our redemption visit was a success. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, guys.